Well, Projet Montréal has a new leader. Luc Rabouin was elected on Saturday night, winning 59.2% of the vote in the fourth round of voting. He succeeds Valérie Plante as leader of the party, but of course, Mayor Plante will remain mayor until the next municipal election in November. Rabouin, currently the mayor of Plateau Montréal and chair of Montreal's executive committee, well, he's got a whole lot on his plate now as he becomes leader of the party, and he's in studio. Monsieur Rabouin, welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
First things first. It wasn't a cakewalk for you. I mean, maybe I'm used to what happened with Mark Carney. First vote, 86%, boom, leader. You had 4 rounds, ended up with 59.2% of the vote. What does that say about the true support you have within the party?
That say that we have very good candidatures. We have strong people, very experienced people. We have the mayor of Côte-des-Neiges-NDG, which is the most important borough in Montreal in terms of number of people who live there. It will be, I think, maybe the 7th largest cities in Quebec, if we just count we have and she's very, very good. We have the mayor of Villeray-Saint-Michel Parc Extension, Laurence Lavigne-Lalonde. It's also a very important neighborhood. So we have very good candidatures, and it's very good for the vitality of our party.
So to you, Saturday is just a result of just the deep bench, the quality and talent you've got at Projet Montréal, I imagine, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, so let me ask you about some perceptions of you. I think the perception is that you're a plateau guy.
Mm-hmm.
And, Montreal, it's vast. It's much bigger than just the plateau or the city center. Good folks in Pierrefonds-Roxborough probably wants a mayor that speaks for them as well. What do you say to the perception that you're a plateau guy?
Mm-hmm. So just at the beginning of the race, we were 6 persons. And one of them decided to join me. Mm-hmm. This is the mayor of Lachine. Mm-hmm. And she knows that I am focused on I respect fully the autonomy of borough, and it's something I put in the race. So for me, it's very important that the local autonomy is important. The local people are the best place to decide what is the best for them. Mm-hmm. And I worked for 10 years in Lachine as a community organizer. So I know that it's different from one part to another. And I was in charge of economic development for the last 5 years. And I totally understand that the reality of central neighborhoods are different part of Montreal, including the east of Montreal. It's very different. The dynamics are different, and I am able to understand that and to adapt the proposal for that.
Are you saying that the way that you do business when it comes to city center versus the boroughs will be a little bit different than your predecessor, Valérie Plante?
I will put more emphasis on the economy, and I think it's important, and especially now, during our context of uncertainty.
What is wrong with the Montreal economy?
Nothing is wrong. We have a very, very strong economy. Just to remind that we crossed the pandemic together, and we had the best relaunch of the economy in Montreal, the best in Canada, and the second in Canada and the United States. So we have a strong economy, we have a diverse economy, and we have an economy that is we have a lot of small businesses. This is the DNA of the economy in Montreal.
But the disconnect I'm getting is that you said, I'm going to put emphasis, one thing that will be different from you and your predecessor, I'm going to put more emphasis on the economy. Then you just said the economy is really strong. Why focus so much on something that's going so well?
Because we have a context of a large uncertainty. What is happening right now at the south of our border, people feel insecure, they're scared to lose their jobs. So we have to be sure that we are reactive as we were during the pandemic. And we can do it because we did it in the past.
All right, I want to talk about the metro for a moment here.
Yeah.
Public safety on the metro, issues of homelessness, people using the metro as a shelter, drug use in the metro. Last week, a total crackdown out of the blue. Now we're going to be tough on some of those behaviors that have made Montrealers, and I've heard from them, by the way, Montrealers that no longer feel safe using the metro. Polls back me up. It's like a split decision now. It's 50-50 basically if people feel safe or not on the metro. It's not lost on me. It's an election year. And part of me believes, well, you know what, Projet Montréal, we're having a crackdown on safety in the metro because you don't want to go into an election with people feeling that the metro is in a state of deterioration. After the election, let's say you win. Election's done. It's November. You're now the mayor of Montreal. What is your stance on safety in the metro? And should it be a thing where police are there and they're kicking everyone out? How tough do we need to be to keep the metro safe?
That we know at Projet Montréal, public transit is so important for us. This is the main way to tackle congestion. But if people don't feel safe in our metro system, they will not use it. And if they don't use it, what will happen? People will come back in their car, and we'll have more congestion. So it's not good for the environment, and it's not good for the economy. So we were at a point that the security is so hard, and even the people who worked at the STM feel unsafe. So we have to tackle the situation, and we will now and in the future be sure that the metro is safe for everybody. But we don't kick off the people out of the metro. We accompany
them.
We accompany them. We do it humanly, and we try to propose them some resources. But we cannot accept that the metro is the hospital.
So Projet Montréal, it's going to be, when we get to the next election, it'll be 8 years of Projet Montréal, right?
Yeah.
And that to me is the time where things got less safe in the metro. Does your party deserve any of the blame for the current lack of safety and security that Montrealers are feeling?
The feeling is not just in the metro. It's also in the streets because of the situation.
Does your party, you've been in power for 8 years. The Projet Montréal has been in power for basically 8 years. Don't you deserve some of the blame? Because it certainly seems like those things happened at the same time. Your party being in power and Montrealers feeling less safe.
Yeah, but the link you made, I'm not sure I agree with you, because the situation is deteriorating. People with very hard, strong mental health issues are in the streets. There's no service for them. And people with drugs addiction, it's very hard now. We have people that are dying in our streets. And this is something that we ask and we continue to ask to the government of Quebec, because public health, and they're so hard to defend their power on that when they discuss with the federal government. The health issues is a provincial responsibility. They have to do it. What we can do more is to find alternative, innovative solutions for housing, to be sure that the people who doesn't have all these health problems, they can find a house.
What is your role? What is the city's role? Because you're right, safety, but then you have housing, right? Housing has been a big issue.
Yeah.
And the last decade has been a decline in housing starts in Montreal. We could point out all these different statistics about how housing just hasn't kept up to our need. What are you going to do differently to succeed where Projet Montréal has failed when it comes to getting housing built?
We did not really fail, because we have more housings during the 8 years of Projet Montréal than the 8 years before. So I understand that it's not enough to respond to the needs, because the needs are huge. And I worked the last 18 months with a lot of developers. So I want to accelerate the processes, and we defined the new norms. 120 days. Every borough had to respect that with indicators. We are following that. So this is where I'm going. I'm going of an efficient administration. We have to simplify things. We have to facilitate the life of people, the Montrealers, and also our small businesses, to keep on our goal, but with a really we have to simplify a lot of things to be more efficient.
The opposition at City Hall, Ensemble Montréal, they've got a new leader as well, Soraya Martinez-Ferrada. Of course, you're the new leader of Projet. Is it fair to say we're already in campaign mode, and you're going to be basically campaigning straight through until November?
Yes. So in the next days, the next months, I will go to meet Montrealers. I want to listen to them. I want to be sure that what we will propose, our political proposal for the next fall, I want to be sure that it's very anchored in the preoccupation and the priority of Montrealers.
Monsieur Rabouin, thank you so much for coming on the show this morning. I'm sure we'll have plenty of opportunities to chat over the next months.
Thank you for the invitation.
That's Luc Rabouin, the new leader of Projet Montréal.